Hi everyone, my name is Ehsan, and in this video I'm going to show you how do I use LinkedIn, my approach, and how do I use it to make network. And also a few settings that I think it's worth knowing. And the first question is, do I have to have a LinkedIn account? Is it necessary or not? I have seen many people even not having a LinkedIn and they got the job. They even never try to make one. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the cost of creating a LinkedIn account and building your network, I think to me it's worth it. I'm creating a personal brand, I'm making the networks, and there are many people who do not like to use other social media. And generally speaking, the people who have an account on LinkedIn, it's real. It's their real name, real picture, and that's why this is kind of different. It's like a work side of networking. So I think there is nothing wrong with having a LinkedIn account. Also, I believe it's nothing wrong with not having a LinkedIn account. From my own experience, I have never had an experience that someone requests me to, be on a position, or any recruiter basically reaching out to me using LinkedIn. But I have used LinkedIn to make networks for referral. So I think that's the powerful way of using LinkedIn. So yeah, I think it's worth it. To me, the way I think about LinkedIn is like we all have the resume, which is something formal, and it's just 2 pages. But LinkedIn shows your personality and character. You are going to share more than just something very, very formal. So the way I look at it is it's like this. So now I'm going to show you a few settings and then how to build network and my approach to use LinkedIn. So first of all, the settings for open to work. I have seen this, and I'm pretty sure you also have seen this. People who wants to find a job or got laid off, they use this open to work on their picture profile, which I think is not needed because the recruiters do not have any way to filter and find you using this kind of image or tag on your profile. I personally don't use this, but in the background, I can set up my profile to show that I'm open to work. And you probably know it. If you click here, then it takes you to this page, which you can select the titles, that kind of job. Do you want to be a hybrid, on-site, or remote? And the location that you prefer to work, and whether you are immediately available to work or not, full-time, part-time, or do you want to this be seen by recruiters only, or everyone can see that? So it's better to set these up in the background instead of just putting a tag or changing your image, because that's not searchable. The second setting that you need to do is your profile picture. Just make something professional here. I have seen people using a crowd of people and we don't know which one you are, or holding something in front of their face, or they are talking and the picture is like too far, or something which is not like appropriate for LinkedIn. Just have a very simple a background. Is any background is fine, but not crazy that distracts people from like seeing you. Any of these styles that I have shown here are fine. Just make it professional. And these days we all have cameras that are in our pocket and can create these beautiful images. So there is no excuse to not have a professional profile, because people judge you by your profile picture. The other setting is when you set up your LinkedIn, you might have seen people, you request to the people and they reject you, and you are going to say, oh, I have my image, I have my name, but why people just reject me and do not accept me? It might be related to this setting. The profile public visibility, you might have turned this off so people cannot see your name, or they cannot see your profile picture unless they accept you as a friend. So if you have this off, make sure you turn it on. And also there are other settings that depending on your preference, you can turn these on or off. For me, I don't care. I have all of them on, whether they are my friends or not, they can see my profile. I don't care about this portion of it, but it's up to you. But if you see people do not accept your request, it might be because your profile picture or name or job title, these are not visible to them unless they accept you. And people usually don't. If you don't have a profile picture, they are not going to accept the request. So make sure you have that right. The other part is your headline. This part is searchable. So when the recruiters looking for someone, they can search in your headline. So that's why you need to put something here, and I'm going to show you my own formula. How do I approach this, and also why this is important other than being searchable. My formula is very simple. I'm going to use 3 parts. One is my primary role. The second one is the secondary role, what I do beside my work. The first one is my work, and the last part is how do I help and who I help and how. So here I wrote semiconductor engineer, productivity coach, and I help busy professionals design their workday and focus better. But this might change. If I am looking for a job, actively looking for a job, I might use some other terms, some other keywords here. I might change this last part and add some hard skills that are searchable. But you might say, I'm a PhD student and I haven't had a real role. What do I can write here as my primary role? So for that, I would say you can use any of these templates. You can say targeting and then write a role, or on track for, write a role. So basically any of these templates you can use for the first part. But be careful with the role that you select. For me, when I was at the University of Florida and doing chemistry, synthetic chemistry, I thought maybe the best role is chemist. So I wrote on track for being a chemist or targeting chemists. But that was not real in the industry. Maybe the closest could be scientist or medicinal chemist. What I would say, you can search on the company's website, the career or the job section, and read the job description. Just don't go based off the titles or the roles. Read the job descriptions, and sometimes those job descriptions will tell you whether you are a right fit or not. So the job title might be something completely different that you might have no idea that role or title existed, but the job description is going to tell you, yeah, you are the right fit. That's the degree that they are looking for, and these are the skills that they are looking for, and you are a right fit for this title. So do a little bit of research and you are going to figure out a few roles that you are interested. But just put one here that you know is the right fit for you. And beside these headlines being searchable by the recruiters, you have probably seen these when someone reposts or likes or comments on someone else's post, you will see these headlines. Just a portion of that is visible to you. So they might decide to either follow you or put a comment. So it's just kind of free advertising. So it's really good to put some effort to make at least the first 2 parts of your headline something that is interesting, and it's something that you know that's you, your role that you are looking for, and who you are beside your work. The other setting is your location. You have to make sure you put the right location that you are, because again, the recruiters have that filter that they can search and find the people who are living in that area. So make sure that is right. The other piece is this about section, which again is searchable by recruiter. And also to me, when I find someone, let's say someone liked someone else's post and I see the headline, and then I'm going to click on the profile and go to their profile and read the about section. What people usually do is they copy paste the professional summary from their resume and paste it here, which is not wrong, but the right way of doing this is to add some sort of your personality, your journey here, so people know you. People, an engaging way, you are gonna explain who you are, what you are looking for. The people who follow you and become your friend, what they are gonna gain by this mutual networking. So I have put mine here. It's very schemable. It's not dense. I haven't put too much information here. I just wanted to have something very clean. And also this is something I recently added because there are a lot of people asking me to be there, to be my investment advisor for some reason. I don't know. So I just put it here. So yeah, just put some sort of a story that who you are, and in an engaging way, not just a very boring, a very formal manner. The other piece is this skill part, which I would say at least have 5 skills listed, and ask your 5 of your friends to endorse you for those skills. And these skills has to be relevant to the job that you are looking for. And for me, I remember I put a lot of skills here, and I haven't updated this section for years. So don't follow my advice on this one, because I forgot to come back and update these skills. Some of them are 99 plus. There are a lot of people have endorsed me for these, but I recently realized that I have to put the new one. So every few years, come back to this section and add the skills that you have learned and ask people to endorse you. So that way this gets updated. And also, again, this is the part that the recruiters can filter and search through. The other piece is the LinkedIn URL. I can't tell you how many resumes I have seen that on their resume there are many characters or numbers after their name or between the first and last names. It's something very, very long. So you have to customize this URL. And you can do that by clicking on this pen and then come over here, and then you can select what username you can have, and it has to be unique. Hopefully someone hasn't taken that, but if they have taken that, you can use your last name with your first name, or have a middle name or something like that. You can have a number also here. There is nothing wrong with that if all the possible usernames are taken, but I have seen just some random numbers that doesn't look nice. Also, for your banner, you can have something very simple or something relevant to the work that you are doing. This is my current banner. Again, these banners, headlines, about section, depending on whether I'm looking for a job or I'm not looking for a job, they might be different. So just take that with a grain of salt. Right now I'm not looking for a job, so this is the current status of my LinkedIn account. And the way that I use LinkedIn is to make my network, and I have a few strategies to make my network. The first one is, before going to a conference, when I was back at university, I had a strategy to know who goes to that conference. Usually there are a list of the people attending to that conference, if you go to a Gordon conference. But if not, let's say you go to ACS, there are a lot of people over there, but on their badge I can see where they are coming from, or when they have the bulletin for that conference, we know who presents when. So I use that to find the people that I'm looking for. And usually when I find those people, what I do after their presentation, or if there is a poster session and they come to me, they ask questions, I can read their badge. And if I know they are coming from industry, because my goal was to go to industry, after our conversation, I would take a selfie with them and telling them, can I add you on LinkedIn, and send you the picture. That was one of the strategy that really worked for me, because I could get so many like connections with real people just because of taking that selfie and sending them on LinkedIn. And I do this because there are many people who wants to connect with these people. And if I do the selfie, then they recall me in a month, 2 or 3. They know who I am just because we had a deep conversation. And after that, I had that selfie. And I also take some notes. Usually during our conversation, I know, let's say in 3 months, they are working towards something, and then I'm gonna put it on my calendar to remind me to send them a message. I'm not trying to bug them like frequently. I know they're busy, and I just don't want to be like that. But just every few months, I try to have some sort of connection with them. That's the first way. I'm gonna call it the selfie strategy. The other way is to get engaged with people in the comment section. If you see someone has posted something and you see someone from a company that you are interested has commented, you can start commenting, get engaged, and then you can add that person after that. So that's another way. The other way is you can find the people who graduated from your group. Let's say you are working in a PhD or master degree or bachelor, and people who you were working on the same project or same team. You can find them, add these people, or they just graduated from your university. You don't know them, but you're coming from the same university. That would be again something that you can start when you want to connect with them, because when you connect, you can write a note. Yeah, and I would say it's good to add a note if you want to add someone, but also there is nothing wrong with not adding any note. I it's different. Every people has its own idea and logic, but for me, I don't care if someone hasn't added a note, but it adds a value and something that I would say, oh yeah, I remember you, and they say something that is interesting, and they just want to get connected. And that's the whole point of LinkedIn. We don't know all the people we add, but adding that note will make your connection slightly different and appealing to accept. And my approach to using LinkedIn is to post at least once a week, and LinkedIn will reward you for being active. And if you are not active, you log in and you do nothing, no like, no post, you are not going to get rewarded. If a recruiter searches for someone to hire, you are not going to be on the top of their search. So being active, as easy as liking other people's posts or commenting on their comments or liking their comments, any sort of activity counts towards you being active, and LinkedIn is going to realize that and show you upper on their search. And I have seen people posting their wins, the achievements they have had, but my approach is not always posting those. It might be some mistakes that I have done or some sort of learning. So if you always show your wins, you are not going to build that trust, because we all make mistakes and people are afraid to share those mistakes, and sharing those mistakes will resonate with people and you build the trust and people like to connect with you. So to me, I usually share something that adds a value, or I'm talking about my own journey, or some mistakes, and of course achievements like everyone that does. But it might not be something very a big achievement. Of course, I will share that. But if it's small achievements, I do also like to share that. And yeah, that's the whole approach that I have: being active and always share my and create some sort of value, maybe between 1 to 3 times per week. If I'm actively looking for a job, I might post 3 times, and if I'm not, maybe one time per week. Yeah, that was it. This is my approach about LinkedIn. Again, it's not like you create a LinkedIn account and all of a sudden all the recruiters will reach out to you and you get hired. Build your network, and use it towards your goal to build the audience and the network that you are looking for. That was it. See you in the next one.